Yes, I've changed my crypto portfolio. Now, was this decision made out of fear, or was this decision made out of complete logic and utter reasoning? Guys, it was made out of logic. Right? Today, I'm going to tell you the coins that I've sold, the coins that I've gone ahead and purchased, but importantly, link that decision making, the reason why. You need to know this. If anything at all, you might find this entertaining, but I think where you'll come to realize ultimately is the fact that, I might be able to apply this reasoning to my own circumstance and therefore make an educated decision. Now, of course, all of this is completely and utterly my personal opinions. I mean, not to offend you personally, if I've sold your favorite altcoin in the world, the one that you tell friends and family about, I'm not coming at you with an insult, all right? I don't expect you to come to me and insult me on the coins I've purchased. We can ultimately all win in this game in the sense that those of us who actually do things based on reasoning, based on data, based on what the market is showing us, those of you who just conform to your old ways, those of you who just listen to an influencer that only speaks about one coin, always says it will go up, or you're someone who doesn't look at any of the facts and data and just holds and never decides to sell, well, unfortunately, you are the people who won't win at this game. And I'm sorry to say, just like any good trader or investor, you got to know when to hold and know when to fold. And that's what I've done here. And that's what I will try to describe to you today. So guys, if you find yourself enjoying today's video, don't forget, hit that like button. Trust me when I say right now, it is not easy coming out with a video telling people why I sold their favorite altcoin. There's a lot of aggressive people out there that get very agitated when you tell them that they've gotten rid of the coin they've been preaching to their mum, dad, sister, dog, and cat about. All right. But that being said, thank you all for doing that. I really do appreciate it. And I'm way down to hit the subscribe button. As you guys know, that's how you're going to achieve all your crypto goals in this bull run. All right. Let's get into it. So first of all, I want to say I haven't done this recently. This was about 6 to 8 months ago, I think now, around about, all right? So I've made this decision a while back, okay? And I've made 2 videos on this. I made the initial video this one's March 25, but this one actually here was the original one, February 2nd, where I spoke about the reasons why, okay? Then follow-up video about a month or 2 later, pretty much just reassuring the reasons why I've done that. And for the most part, I've got some pretty good feedback, right? People understand why. I noticed that some people don't necessarily agree with me. Again, time will tell here, but I think the evidence I'm going to share today is ultimately, for the most part at least, undeniable, right? So what I pretty much, and I'll get to this in a second here, what I pretty much said in the initial video is literally a quote from a guy that I used to be very close with. And he said this to me like way back in the middle of the bear market, and especially when Solana was like low, like we're talking like pretty much 2022, early 2023. He said, Degens don't like your coins. And by the way, when I say your coins, I'm talking about Hedera, Algorand, XLM, XRP, Casper with a C, all these utility-focused coins, right? And when I say utility, I mean coins that are heavily focused towards marketing in the real world. We call it Web 2, right? The real world out there looking to actually penetrate the traditional markets in some way, shape, or form. XDC network, prime example, trade finance. Very big market, actually solves the problem, but it's not looking to focus within crypto. It's not looking to appeal itself to people like you and I. We call ourselves retail, degens, dumb money. All these terms are synonymous. And so he said, bro, focus hard on Solana and the Solana ecosystem. Trust me. I'm not kidding you when he said these exact words. And I laughed at him. I actually kind of was a bit like, okay, Rich, that's fine, man. But okay, like really, Solana's at like $9 right now. It's a dead coin. Lots of problems with it. He was right. And I had to backtrack this to figure out how the hell did this guy actually know this? I thought I had figured it out. Coins that are focused on penetrating real markets, amazing teams. Most coins in crypto are scams and vaporware. Vaporware meaning there's actually no infrastructure behind it. They say they're all doing all this stuff, but they're really not. All right. And I was like, these coins are partnered with Google and ABRDN, Microsoft, Nvidia. You're laughing. Anyway, I came to the conclusion of what I'm going to share in today's video. Hence why I sold pretty much all the utility coins I owned at the time. And I'll tell you these again by name and the coins I've purchased. I want to preface by first of all saying, you have to understand as well, guys, every coin now is 50 to 70% down, okay, from their recent highs. So don't get caught up in the people down below saying, well, he bought a coin, now it's 40% down. Every coin's 40% down, 50% down. Stick to your guns. Apply this reasoning. If you agree or disagree, come to your own decision, okay? So ultimately, these coins lack buzz, right? This is the exact sort of slide I shared in the last video I made on this topic, but they lack buzz, and I wanted to reiterate this, okay? Degens, again, people like you and I, aren't super excited about the coins that I'll discuss today, the coins that I've basically sold, right? Actual investors, okay, like people who are angel investors, real enterprises, real institutions, real governing bodies even, they see the potential in these coins. They really do, and they're actually using them. That's why they see the potential in them. But we see that, and we mistaken that for, oh, the coin's going to go up this bull run. We forget the coins are quality because they are. We'll have to worry about the next cycle. Next cycle, they'll do great, I firmly do believe. But for this cycle, I'm sorry to say, but we're not looking to sell in 2030. Most of us are here to sell this bull run, to make money this bull run. So, you can't sit here and say, well, look, these Web 2 focused coins, again, Hedera, XDC Network, Algorand, Quants, XLM, and XRP, we can't sit here and lie to ourselves and say, well, they're quality coins, we know this, but they will do well in the future, but not this cycle. Well, I'm sorry, but we're selling this cycle. I mean, do you know what I'm sort of saying here? Like, and if we follow my multi-cycle compounding plan where we sell everything at the top of this bull run, everything will come back down between 80 to 90%, 95% some of these coins again. We'll probably buy them cheaper than today's prices. We've just compounded. We're going to make tenfold the money. And so we look to why the coins like the ones I've mentioned here in Web3, right? So ADA's an iffy one. We'll talk about that in a different video. Near Protocol, ICP, Solana, Injective, Render, Flux, Flare. Why are these coins that are heavily focused in Web3? They don't care about real enterprise adoption right now. Why are they succeeding? Matter of fact, here's the question you really need to be asking yourself. Why are meme coins the number one narrative, period? I mean, we track all this sort of stuff, guys, in the private community. This is the bull run cheat sheet. Literally track this. And meme coins are the number one ranked narrative by far, by like an order of 3 or 4x, 300 or 400% on average. Why? Because I literally gave you the answer right there. They're a meme. They are something that, we'll get into this soon, easily understood by most people. They're not some gimmick where they're like, we do utility, we focus layer one blockchain that offers smart contract support, and we do ZKPs, and we make sure your privacy. None of that sort of stuff. Very simple. You like this image? You think it's cool? Buy the damn coin. Other people will too. That's the next thing. Propagation. If you can understand it easily, can someone else? If the answer is no, because we're in a account abstraction network that focuses on, some sort of like time lock focused thing, hell no. You can't understand that, right? So like you got to think about it in terms of the Degen, the average person. The average person is where money's going to in this bull run. Not the crypto cypherpunk dude that is hyper-focused and loves the technology like I used to be. I used to be into the tech, spent a whole year learning the technology, making no YouTube videos, and I got so deep into it. That's why I love these utility coins, because they're doing so much, and then I didn't actually realize. We're not there yet, guys. We're not there yet. We're not at utility yet. We're here. This, I believe, 2028, we can begin buying these coins. And again, we'll have to wait until then to reanalyze that thesis. But as for the most part, meme coins, guys, and I've separated meme coins because ultimately any coin can be a meme coin. Meme coins, by true definition, are performing the best because they are meme coins. Again, a meme is a derivative from the word memetics. Memetic coin is a coin that, again, is easily understood by many people, easily propagated by many, therefore has to have good marketing. Therefore, again, has to be easily understood to be propagated that way. And it has to be unique. It has to be different. If you walk down the street past a guy that's whistling, okay? If the tune is easily to understand, even if you pass him for a split second, you're going to start whistling that and go to yourself, if you can whistle, why is that stuck in my head? Because it's memetic. You understand what we're saying here? This is the same with music. This is literally the same with music when it comes to a song that hits the top 10, that goes platinum, and a song that just sounds good and is a temporary thing. We're talking different levels to this sort of stuff, and you can backtrack this with all the coins inside the top 10, top 100, the coins that have done well and so on, okay? So Ondo is a perfect example of a coin that has good memetics in an area that is going to do well, which is, of course, real-world assets. But think about it like this. Ondo's done quite well, right? But do you think 95% of all the demand for the Ondo token itself has come from institutions or retail? It's retail. Institutions, while there's partnered with BlackRock and all the rest of it, it's come from retail, right? It's come from people like you and I. So we have to focus on people like you and I. And this is where I'm going with things, right? So where do you think the marketing needs to be focused to succeed? Why do you think Hedera is focused on growing their Web3 ecosystem so suddenly? They've injected a lot of money into it. This is why coins with, lots of big treasury that are focused on, promoting people to join their ecosystem. This is why it's very important to assess these things. Why are Web3 focused coins doing so well versus Web2 coins? Again, some of the coins that are focused on just utility, focus on marketing towards enterprises and institutions, not worried about us like Quant. That's why I sold my Quant. Spoiler alert, right? Why are meme coins the best performing narrative in this bull run? Like, this is writing on the walls here, okay? So when you have retail, people like you and I, they want to spend their money, right? It can be literally Bitcoin at $300,000 and they come into the market, oh my God, there's money. There's still money to be made. I want to spend money. And so what happens, right? They look at the trending narratives and the coins in those areas. So like a trending coin might be Ondo. But of course, Ondo's trending because of the narrative. Ondo's trending because real world assets are popping off. All right. So for example, it might be layer ones that are doing really well and the other narratives aren't. Or for example, their favorite YouTubers talking about layer one altcoins. Hey guys, layer one altcoins are popping off right now. I'm buying Near Protocol right now because of this, this, and this. And there's no thought process. You guys should know. I experienced this in the last cycle at the very start. I didn't have a thought process. Oh, my favorite influencer, Jimmy over here, he's talking about Near Protocol. The stuff he's saying sounds pretty good to me. All right, let's buy it. Literally, that's the sort of thought process here, okay? It all still follows the narratives. The narrative has to do well, then the influencers catch on to it and so on. Most people buy the altcoin with the most unique meme. It's the most unique project in the bunch of altcoins, basically, right? If you go to pick a bunch of flowers and you're at the flower shop, right, for your girlfriend or for your boyfriend, whoever, and you see all these flowers, you want to pick the one that stands out to you the most. Now, of course, taste is subjective in this case, but that's sort of what I'm saying here. It's that, of course, depending on how you analyze these coins, and there is some subjectiveness involved with this, and what videos someone watches on the topic, they'll buy that coin. But usually most people get around the most unique one. So for Solana, for example, so these are some of the aspects we have to search, right? Is the coin up to standards, right? It's no good buying an old coin from 3 cycles ago that hasn't done any sort of progression in terms of technology if it's not new, all right? If it is an old coin but doing new stuff, that's fine, right? Is the coin unique versus the competitors? Is it easy for the average person to understand? People neglect that. The average person, retail person, has to understand it. Is it solving a Web3 issue, or is it creating a new Web3 product? Focus on Web3, because they're focused on retail. They're not focused on institutions. If it's like quant only focusing on, again, I'm sorry for picking on quant here, but any coin focused on promoting itself strictly to enterprises lacks the retail involvement. And I'm sorry, but all these utility coins revolve around utility, which means they have to be adopted on a mass scale for it to have any sort of price appreciation. And is the marketing turned up? Are they hitting the marketing heavy? People give poor Polkadot so much crap for its promotion. Guys, hello. It's exposure. Exposure is good exposure in crypto, unless it's for obviously a very bad reason. Now, this is so important because in the last cycle, right, Solana pumped 7,700%, Avalanche 2,500. These coins were, 2 peas in a pod. Launched at a few months apart, had their all-time high, literally 2 weeks apart, so in the Web3 narrative. But yet, the difference here is substantial. We're talking what's this, 50x difference. It's because Solana was so much more unique, so much more fitted towards being the fastest layer one, which was the primary meme of that bull run, that it just dominated every other coin. So this is the power in what I'm saying, and this is why I've sold the old coins that I had. Not only because they were, potentially not in, focusing on Web3, but also because the narrative that they were in itself wasn't going to do well. I track all this in my bull run cheat sheet, guys. You can see here, payments, Web2 layer ones, supply chain. I don't think this will do very well. That's why I've ranked them low. We want to focus to the 9s and 10s, even the 8s and the 7s, because like I described in these little charts over on the right-hand side here with these dots, it's much easier for you to find a winning coin up here, the white coins are losing coins, than it is to find a winning coin down here, okay? Because the narrative will still do well. These coins should still on average 5 to 10x, roughly speaking, if they're a low cap coin. However, it's the ones that really spike, you have to do some digging. And I don't know about you, but I'd much rather spray and pray, buy what I think's a good coin, okay? And it does well because it's in a good narrative as a safety net, rather than scrounging to the coins that I don't think will do very well. Again, this is all subjective. So when I say I truly do mean I don't think will do well, at least as of right now. Things can change. And try to research and then still hope and pray that one of these coins I've researched based on my Pumpermentals research plan, which by the way is how I base a lot of this off, right? These steps here, doesn't do well. And I'm sitting there going, I could have just invested in an AI coin or a gaming coin or whatever coin, and it done substantially better on average. So I digress, guys. That's sort of what I'm sort of coming to here. Now, we know what coins are going to do well because this sheet here says, this June analytics page tells us the last 6 months, pretty much since February, which is important because February was when we started to move sideways / move down. Sort of what narratives are doing well. And we can see they all kind of came down at this point over here recently, and now they're picking up again. So we can kind of hover over these different narratives, which I'm not going to do because this misses quite a lot of narratives. Okay, it does. We can see that, again, guess what? Meme coins are doing the best by far. Decentralized science is also doing very well. This is a narrative I want to explore more. We can see some aren't doing amazingly, like so over here with Degen isn't doing amazingly like it has in the past. But again, these things work in waves. You can see here these work in different waves, and some perform really well. Some of them don't, which is again the low ranking narratives. But what's important to note is that they all pump separately. You'll have gaming coins pump, you'll have a break, you'll have AI coins pump, you'll have a break, you'll then go ahead and have ZKP coins pump. And this is what we have to be prepared for. It's not a big kumbaya moment and it all down at the same time. It doesn't work like that. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So with that being said, guys, my portfolio before I made this change consisted of a fair few coins, okay? So it consisted of Stellar, HBAR, Quant, Nia, XTC, Dot, Algorand, Flux, Mina, Casper, Algorand, Multiverse X, Moonbeam, Atom, ICP, and XRP. Now, the red ones are, of course, the ones I've sold. There are a couple that I could have kept, like Polkadot, okay? And like Glimmer, like even Cosmos to a degree. But the other ones I'm pretty happy I sold out of. Now, these ones are all of the Web 2 focused coins. A lot of these are Web 2 layer 1. Now, I think XRP should do okay because XRP is focused within growing their Web 3 ecosystem. Of course, they have a very strong community behind them, but I do worry that maybe the Web 3 community behind them is a little bit exhausted. Okay, now I think out of all of these, I think XRP and HBAR have two of the most, and actually XLM have pretty much of the three that I would really focus on. Maybe even I would consider purchasing again if all went to crap. Basically, I don't have any interest in buying them right now. Of course, I still own HBAR, okay, because HBAR, kind of like XRP and XLM, are focusing on growing their Web 3 ecosystem. If you want to have any sort of faith in the project doing well this bull run, I believe, okay, this is my opinion, that I don't think that they'll do amazing otherwise. So they have to focus on generating interest for retail, because if they don't, and they're marketing themselves strictly within enterprises, I mean, guys, I hope you make money on these coins, and I think you will. I think you'll still generate, it'll still go up in price. These coins aren't going to stay stable, but is it going to hit your price predictions, right? If you have a look at a project like HBAR, this is as an example, right? If you're trying to sell up here, or let's say, for example, this is a Web3 coin, maybe if HBAR was a strict Web3 layer 1 like Solana, maybe you could sell up here because there is an expectation the coin performs better because it's hyper-focused. But because it's not hyper-focused in Web 2, or Web 3 rather, it might not perform as well, and therefore we have to be a bit more conservative. So if you're buying a coin like Quant and you think Quant's going to go to $2,000, well, it might if it was focused on Web 3, but it's not, it's focused on Web 2, so you're much more likely to see it do less. So you just maybe need to expect less multiples is what I'm trying to say here, okay? So what coins did I buy instead? Well, again, I sold the red ones and I bought ones like Wormhole, Render, Immutable, PYTH, Celestia, Manta, ASI, Goldfinch, Ondo, Aero, and Axelar. All solving and focusing on creating new products for Web3. Very simple. They hit many different narratives, many different of these, all in one. And I couldn't be happy with my decision. So should you go ahead and do this? Well, I think if you're down right now, anything more than 15%, roughly 15 to 20%, that's probably a pretty bad idea. Unless it's a coin you're 20 or 30 or 50% down on, and you've lost, let's say, $500, but your average coin you've invested in is like $5,000. Well, that might be negligible money for you. You might not really care too much in that sense. I think most coins people have invested in, you should at least wait for where it's pretty much negligible for you to sell at, or you break even, because I think at a point right now in the cycle, most coins should do well. Most coins should get you at least, I don't know when you purchased your coins, of course, but from these levels, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7x, somewhere in there. Of course, more and less powerful depending on the narrative, but I just don't think at this point in the cycle, we've made it this far, you should be looking to sell at a loss, especially if you are someone who can kind of conceptualize what that money was to acquire, right? If it's $300, that was 4 days of work. Don't do that, okay? Very dangerous. You can catch yourself catching your tail, if you know what I mean. This endless perpetual cycle where you always sell at a loss because you never really have conviction in any of the coins you hold, and you panic sell every time it goes down. Been there, done that, don't want to go back. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed. And look, again, if you agree or disagree, I'd love to know down below, respectfully, if you're supercharged up right now and you're like, I got to tell him why he made the worst decision of his life. Go ahead. I can't stop you. But I'd love to come back to this later on in the future and kind of diagnose what did or didn't go wrong. All right, guys, take good care. All the best for 2025, and I mean that. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.